iHeartRadio, Spotify, or any
Stitcher.
SoundCloud, Stitcher, anywhere you may be. See the little fast forward button for all you moms, mom's grandmother, my grandfather especially. Kari, you're cool. Kari is my fiance. She's cool. She can listen to this part. Just hit 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So my thing was really, when it comes down to being judged, one of the reasons that I didn't ask about sex, didn't talk about sex, is because I was just raised to not just by my parents, but by the school that I was at. I mean, I was in a Christian school, and they were like, nope. I mean, my sex ed class was teaching me about what pads were for my period, and they still didn't even cover what your period was or what it was for.
Really?
No, it was so bad, and I don't even want to explain my first experience with using a tampon on this show, but it was not good.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
No, let's not. But that is what our sex education was for me in the freaking 80s. Horrible.
But you see now, I just said let's not talk about that. Why don't we want to talk about that?
Because nobody really likes to talk about period blood. I mean, it's gross.
Yeah,
for sure. But it is something that's part of sex. Hey, you know what? I have no problem talking about having sex on your period.
But men do.
The best.
The best. Really? It's
oh my God. Sex on your period is so incredibly good.
Right.
But it's a messy disaster.
When April 13th hits, sex.
So April 14th, the morning after you're married, period sex is good.
Okay. Is it? Sounds so.
It feels really, really good.
Yeah, and I get, to touch what you're just saying right now. Yeah, I again would like to say I feel for you. I feel you. I completely understand because, with me, I went to public school from kindergarten to 5th grade, and I learned, quote unquote, learned about sex in 2 classes in public school. To be honest with all of you, I learned about sex through porn.
Ooh,
I did. I learned about sex through porn, and I don't. And this is where we'll talk about later. And it's both from a religious standpoint, but more of a deep down standpoint why I don't like porn.
I cannot wait to talk about this topic.
We'll talk about it. No,
I know we are. It's going to be an entire episode. This is just our spitballing, getting to our listeners to understand kind of where we're coming from, what this is going to be about. And then after this episode, we're getting core into just focusing strictly on the topics. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be, there's going to be a broken sexual culture that's part of everything that we're talking about. And part of that broken sexual culture is religion. So I have to get more comfortable about talking about it. And, another reason why I'm uncomfortable talking about religion is because I have been so turned off by it that I haven't studied it. I haven't read enough about it. The stuff I do read, I cannot possibly understand how anybody believes in it, not even for a minute. So I struggle with that, and we can talk about that. I don't want this to turn into this crazy political or a religious show in any way, shape, or form, because I'm neither of those two. So I would really suck at this.
Yeah, no. At the core of it, it's a sexual based show. That I will more come on the standpoint of why is it so hard to talk about this? Why are we not pressing these issues? We hear about them in news outlets. We hear about them with our friends, but
all we hear about.
Yeah, it's true. But why don't we ever really, in the uncomfortableness of it all, talk about it? Because we're human. This is what makes us human. A lot of this stuff, it's really bad human. Sex trafficking. How can we allow this to happen in our culture? And yet it is. Why is it a big thing? Why
just grab them by the pussy?
Yeah. We weren't going to get political, but hey.
I didn't say there was nothing political about that statement.
Hey, I get it. And a lot of it, again, why is it so hard?
Yeah.
That's the question I want to just propose is why is it so hard? And you may say judge or whatever, and you may be like, oh my gosh, I talk about it all the time with my friends and girlfriends. But no, think outside of yourself for just a moment. Look at our culture. Why is sex so hard to talk about? Why are things so branded? Why is there a whole hashtag free the nipple thing going on? Think about that. Why is it why is there such thing? Why can men show their nipples and women can't? And yet why are boobs sexualized when it's meant for they're actually truly meant for nurturing their young? That's really what the meaning of it is. Maybe for a lot of us, I don't know, we haven't really talked about that, Lindsay. Maybe it is for sexual pleasure.
Well, Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, fun bags are for a good goddamn reason, right? You know this, but I had breast augmentation surgery, and it wasn't because I wanted these huge, tits that I could rest my chin on when I got tired, and then wake up again. I lost a ton of weight, and with that went my boobs, and there's all kinds of health stuff that went on with me too. And I was like, I need to at least feel like a lady. And I did not. And because I went from a nice, gnarly, natural D to a negative A.
And on contrary with men, why do men are fantasized with even myself? I will be honest with all of you. With dick size.
Sure. Size. Oh, God, my ex-husband, who we will talk about a ton, and he knows this. He is completely obsessed with his dick size.
Why are men upset? Now, I'm not just
and I don't know why, because I've talked to you about it.
Even me,
huge.
I'm obsessed with it too.
So stupid.
And yeah, you may say it's stupid, for us men, it's something. Is it an alpha beta thing? Is it like my dick is bigger than yours? Yeah. Why are we obsessed as men with it?
I have no idea, because I'm not obsessed with the size of my vagina.
Well, that's different.
How?
Because men I don't know. That's the thing. Why are men, again, so many questions proposed in our culture.
Well, because you guys want a tight vagina, right? You don't want a big vagina. You want a nice, tight, little vagina, you know?
Well, I've only seen 2 in my life.
Well, and I've seen more than you, so there's that.
And one was, I forget, it was, again, 1920. I don't have much memory
yes,
of that.
From 1920. That was the last time that you saw your first vagina, was in 1920, and I'm pretty sure...
19 years old, 20 years old. But, it's definitely, a point of, let's just be honest with ourselves. Why are we so insecure about sex? Why are we insecure about all the things about sex, penis size, boobs, butt. I want to say ass.
Wow.
But
you can say ass.
Ass. All right. Why are we all obsessed about it? And this whole rape culture, date rape, sexual assault, consent. What does consenting mean nowadays? We already, again, I don't know why I keep mentioning HIV. It just keeps popping in my head ever since we first talked about it when we opened the show. HIV, STDs, testing, birth control. Abortion is a huge thing in my life. Huge advocate for pro-life. And whatever that may mean.
Yep.
We'll get into that. That's also political, but yet the same standpoint, it's sexual, which is, again, even the political stuff is even sexual in our culture.
I am going to circle back, though, because I really don't want to forget. Don't ever apologize for anything on this show, because that is exactly why we are here, is to not apologize. We're just so listeners, so you guys know, we're in Burbank right now, which is Los Angeles, Hollywood. Okay. So I was one of these exploration people, not just with my body, but from an educational standpoint. I went to 3 high schools. I went to, I don't even know how many colleges. Orange Coast College, Saddleback College, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State San Francisco, and Cal State Long Beach. I went to 6 schools for college.
Wow.
Mostly because I just was so boy crazy, and all I wanted to do was party and make out with boys. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. I was not ready. I was not given a map at birth. My ex-husband was. We'll get into that more down the road. I was not given a map at birth. I was given, you are going to be 17,000 different types of people, so have fun with that. And that's been a challenge. But at Cal State, San Francisco State, excuse me, there was a course there that was all about sexuality. And there was a course at Cal State Long Beach that I had to take that was all about human anatomy and sexuality in relation to human anatomy. So to talk about your university and your experience and having a regret that you didn't go to X, Y, and Z school, I think education is what you find within the university that you're at, whether it's a shitty one or it's a fantastic one. You're your own advocate for learning. You're your own, so don't even worry about what your degree on your wall says. I mean, I have an MBA from University of Phoenix, which some people laugh at because it's University of Phoenix. Dude, it's the largest university chain in the entire world. And I will tell you this much. That MBA program was so freaking hard I would love to get a freaking Stanford and a Harvard and a Yale grad to go through the University of Phoenix online program to get their MBA. I'm just saying. I threw my calculator across the room just as much as the next person.
Yeah, and I got my MBA very easily. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, not me. Mine was tough.
Yeah. My MBA was very simple. It was just in production, but it was very simple. It was basic 101 stuff. Business, obviously accounting. It's legit. I hope it's legit. Last time I checked, it was legit.
You had brought up how men and women are, men are looked at it this way and women are looked at it this way. We're always looked at as these sluts, and you guys are always looked at as these like heroes. Well, I think that's BS because that's old school. I think that's still an actual. I think people still think that, old school people, like, oh, the men are this and the women are this. I don't like that because I am not just this little wallflower chick. I am just as capable as hurting you, fucking you over, screwing up your life, being crazy, getting drunk, showing up at your house, cheating on you, taking pictures of you while you're sleeping, sending dick pics. Like we are just as screwed up as you guys are. And so I feel like even though our culture is so broken, I think that brokenness part of it, we've had to kind of be a little bit more man-like. And I know that's like stereotyping in a huge way, but we've had to kind of like be more man-like to be more successful in business. We've had to be more cutthroat. We've had to be the women that can go out and go drink 7 martinis and still have our wits about ourselves, and then not go home with the guy because then we would be the slut. And I don't know. I'm gonna go home with the guy.
Yeah. No, I'm just listening and I'm like, yeah, and I'm sorry. No, I say I'm sorry not because, me, that's who I am. I'm not at all that type of man.
No.
Some may refer to me as the beta. And I'm being honest, there's this alpha male, this beta. How do you become an alpha instead of a beta? That's huge in man talk. And, how to get more women, how to make women fall in love with you. And, a lot of it, as I've watched, countless YouTube videos and this bullshit, and I'm being honest with it, like what makes a man, you have to be alpha. It's like, man, is this what women are really attracted to? Is this alpha, this assholery? And yet you see it in our culture where some of them are. And maybe it's because that's what just they're inclined to. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a woman. I'm still trying to understand my fiance. We've been dating for almost 3 years, and I'll continue to try to understand her probably for the rest of my life. And I'm not making fun of her. It's just that's who we are as men. We just continue to try to please the woman and, try to get to know her. That's what we're, I think, meant to be, is getting to know and courting the woman. And yet I don't know where, somewhere down along the line where we've come along to, if she doesn't put out, or if we don't get with her within 3 dates, we have failed as a man, and we, and I'm being, that's just reality.
Totally. And us chicks,
it's like, where's the committedness? And I'm not saying as being a little simp here, saying, oh, let's go for commit. Like, no, I'm not saying, yes, there's a part of me that says that, but it's like, what happened to the true men, like the men? And I'm not saying,
I have no idea where you guys are.
Yeah. And
I don't know where you are. You guys disappeared from culture entirely.
And I talk with women about this. I'm not saying, I know tons of women, but I have talked to many women who feel the same way, where it's like, where are the men at? And I'm not saying men as in like, there's one over there. I'm saying no, men.
Man.
Like man.
Where is a man in all of this?
Knight in shining armor. Not the fake one you see at your local 24-hour fitness, your LA Fitness, getting buff and trying to look impressive to impress the local girls at the bar on Friday night or at the club. It's like, no, the true man willing to go the distance. And yeah, you may be turning off men and being like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But deep down, there's something in men that we want to chase the woman. But somewhere along the line, we have been told after the 3rd date, you must fuck. After the 4th time, you must already be either putting out, she must be putting out. There's all these standards. Or maybe it's the first time where it's nothing, where you just want to put out casual sex. It's a huge thing in our culture.
Yes, it is.
I'm very much against it. You may be for it. People may be for it.
Well, I've had so much casual sex that I don't even know what to do with myself.
And that's the point, is where's the true meaning of consensual, meaning this is what I truly mean is being together, this oneness.
Okay, well, consensual is not the same as I mean, I'm consensually having sex. Well, I'm currently not having any sex, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is nobody, male or female, should think that every single date should result in sex. Period. I mean, if we all walked in and said, you know what? I'm going to have dinner with this dude. I'm going to have dinner with this chick. I'm not